The restaurant was quiet in that classy, white tablecloth kind of way. Silverware barely clanked. Low jazz hummed through the speakers. I sat across from Lauren, hands folded, back straight. It was the kind of place Melissa and I used to go before everything blurred. Lauren looked sharp. Not flashy, just precise, controlled. She sipped her water like she already knew what would happen. And we were waiting for the storm. Right on cue. The front door slammed. I didn't have to turn around. The ripple of gasps, the way chairs shifted, the scent of her perfume, all of it told me Melissa was here. And then, are you serious, Ryan? What is this? I didn't flinch. I didn't even move. She stomped toward our table like every step was powered by betrayal, the kind she thought she was the victim of. Her eyes darted between me and Lauren, and when she reached our table, she leaned in like she expected me to stand and explain myself. I didn't, disappearing for hours, not answering your phone, and you're here. With her, Lauren didn't even blink. She looked at Melissa like she was studying a weak storm on a radar. Melissa, she said softly, do you recognize me? Melissa tilted her head, defensive, confused. Should I? Lauren reached into her bag. I'm Lauren Collins. And then everything cracked. Melissa's jaw twitched. She blinked. I watched the calculations behind her eyes, like a computer short-circuiting. Lauren placed her phone on the table, screen lit with a picture. Her and Derek Collins, Melissa's secret man. Her face blanched. I'm Derek's wife. The silence that followed was a vacuum. Melissa stepped back like the ground tilted. No. This is a setup. This is insane. Lauren didn't raise her voice. You've been sleeping with my husband for 6 months. I thought you should know you're not the only one who can arrange surprises. She smiled. But it wasn't cruel. It was surgical. Melissa looked at me then, truly looked, and for the first time, I saw fear. Not guilt, not even regret. Fear. What is this, Ryan? Some kind of revenge dinner? I finally spoke. Calm? No, this is just dinner, but everything you said about needing space was a lie. And this, I gestured to Lauren, is what truth looks like. The room around us was frozen. You could hear forks being lowered, waiters stopping mid-step. Melissa looked around. She realized people were watching. Whispers beginning. Her voice dropped. We should talk somewhere private. No, I said. We're done with hiding things in private. Lauren added, I told you I'd find you, and now you're found. Melissa turned pale. I stood up, smoothed my jacket, and left money on the table. We'll let you pay the tip. I walked out with Lauren beside me. We didn't need to run. We already won. We didn't speak much on the sidewalk. The night was cool, and the air felt cleaner somehow, like something poisonous had been lifted. Lauren glanced at me as we walked, and for the first time since this all started, she smiled. Not a happy smile, a knowing one. You handled that well, she said. I didn't answer right away. My hands were in my pockets. The weight of months, maybe years, was finally shifting off my chest. Truth doesn't need volume, I said. It just needs space. The next evening, I was back at the same restaurant. Same table. This time, Melissa was already there, seated and fuming. Her eyes were bloodshot, makeup forced into place. She looked like someone trying to glue a broken vase together before the guests arrived. I can't believe you ambushed me like that. I sat, calm, steady. You cheated for 6 months. I replied. I found out 2 weeks ago. I gave you space to confess. She stared. So you let some stranger humiliate me? Lauren, now beside me again, pulled out a slim folder and placed it on the table between us. It was silent for a beat too long. Then Melissa grabbed it, flipping it open. Texts, photos, screenshots of hotel bills, timestamp locations, to receipts signed in her handwriting. She tried to scoff. These don't prove anything. Lauren tilted her head. So you accidentally wore the same red dress to 3 different hotels with the same man. On the same nights my husband told me he was working late. Melissa's face went rigid. This is manipulation, she hissed. You're both out to destroy me. I leaned forward just a little. No, we're done being destroyed by you. She looked at me then. Not like I was her husband, but like I was a stranger who'd found her masked collection and laid them all out. What do you even want? She asked. Accountability, I said. She blinked. So this is about revenge? No, it's about stopping the lie. You kept saying you felt disconnected, that you needed space. You took space, all right, in someone else's bed. She opened her mouth, then closed it again. People nearby pretended not to listen, but they heard. I could feel it. This isn't fair, she whispered. You blindsided me. I looked down at the table. Then back up. You blindfolded yourself. Her shoulders sank. She pushed the folder away like it burned her fingertips. Lauren remained quiet, watching her like a surgeon observing post-op shock. This isn't about drama, Melissa, I said. It's about truth. For you, for Derek, for everyone who thought you were something you're not. She stared, trembling. And for a second, I thought she'd finally say something honest. But instead, she stood, gathered her purse, and stormed out. Again, Lauren let out a slow breath. She's not going to stop. I know, I said, but we're done playing by her rules. I signed the check and left a generous tip. As we stood outside, Lauren looked at me and asked, "What happens now?" I replied, "Now, she has to face herself, and I don't need to be there for it." She nodded. Derek's already unraveling. I think he's finally afraid. Good, I said. They should sit in the ashes they lit. The house was dark when I pulled into the driveway. I noticed the porch light was off. Something Melissa never used to forget. That detail hit harder than I expected. I opened the door and found her on the couch. No wine, no TV, no excuses ready. Just Melissa, knees drawn up, face streaked with makeup she hadn't touched since the restaurant. She looked up. You embarrass me. I dropped my keys on the table and sat across from her. No, I exposed the truth you buried. Her voice cracked. You planned that whole thing? I stayed calm. Lauren reached out to me 2 weeks ago. She had the proof. I asked for time. I gave you chances to tell me yourself. She scoffed. Eyes bitter. You mean you trapped me? I gave you silence, I said, and you filled it with lies. Melissa wiped her face, more angry than sad. You think you're so righteous. Do you even know how it felt to be with you these past 2 years? Like I was invisible, like I was surviving in a marriage that was all schedule, no soul. I didn't react. I let her say it. I needed to feel alive again. She added, softly now. I needed someone to see me. You picked a man with a wife. I replied, that's not a cry for help. That's a choice. She stood abruptly. So that's it? You're divorcing me. I pulled the envelope from my jacket, set it on the coffee table. It's all there. I'm not interested in fighting. I just want peace. She didn't touch it. I gave you 10 years, I said. You gave me 6 months of betrayal and 2 weeks of silence. I was scared. So was I. She finally sat back down, staring at the envelope like it might catch fire. People think I'm the villain now. Then stop pretending you're the victim, I said. You can tell your version. I'm done telling mine. Melissa didn't cry. She looked at me like she didn't recognize me, like the man she cheated on had somehow become a stranger she didn't know how to manipulate. That night, I slept in the guest room. The silence between us wasn't thick with tension. It was clean, done. The next morning, I called Lauren, not to talk about feelings. We weren't that kind of connection, just to say, it's done. She said the same. I spent the next few weeks signing documents, reclaiming passwords, and removing my name from anything that didn't deserve it. Melissa tried, once, to call me late at night. I let it ring. 2 days after the papers were finalized, a mutual friend sent me a screenshot of something Melissa posted online. He humiliated me in public. He broke my spirit. He ruined my reputation. I didn't comment. I didn't respond, but I texted the friend back with one line. I stopped protecting her lies. That was it. That was my closure. Not revenge. Not screaming. Just freedom.